Good morning, good morning, good morning. You already know who it is, targeted individual CJBK. You see, I got my hair twisted up, you know, I'm not gonna be wrestling with my hair as much. My sister did it, speaking of my sister, she's calling me right now. Hold on. Yeah, I had to talk to my sister. But anyway, Um, yeah, so hopefully you'll have watched the that video I uploaded where I had like three separate conversations with the Microsoft AI chatbot. Um there's a lot of useful information in there. And you know what the more interesting thing is, if you read the responses, right? It starts off like telling you that certain things may not actually be um currently happening, but they may be, what they call what do they say, pseudoscience, or science fiction or whatever. Or it'll present many of the ideas or solutions or possible solutions as well. If it were to be happening, then this is what, what some people are saying can be done or used to do this. So it's almost is very kind of like, like the AI. It's almost as if like the AI um knows just enough to explain without giving off the fact that it's actually happening. So and because I mean, remember, anything that's being used as a weapon today is also being used and developed to heal. And vice versa. Whatever is being used to heal, whatever is being created to heal and help people, is being weaponized. So it explains how like nanotechnology and remote, nano sensors and stuff has been idealized to basically be used to go into people's bodies, cross blood brain barriers, and modulate the neurons, and possibly help heal like inner wounds and artery things and stuff like that. But it's like when you have been doing your proper research, um that the Department of Defense actually has contracts with tech companies and medical, and in the medical industry, with weaponizing the very things that were intended to help people, right? So now when you think about it, and I even asked, I even that in my third conversation, I try to dive in, I try to get it to dive, this, I tried to get the AI to give me whatever it could about, like, occults and secret experiments and things of that sort. And it's interesting because the way it approached with the response. And look, they're heterodyne. Like over the last, like, even while I was on the phone with my sister, I'm feeling all kinds of sensors, beaming into, like, like, so right here, this feels all firm right here because it doesn't feel the same on this side. This side feels normal, but this side feels very hard, and like there's a pulse, and you don't have a your pulse wouldn't necessarily be right here. There's a gland right here, and then when I press here, it's sore, right? But it's not the same on this side. Then when I also, if I were to take my hand and I pinch like this, I could feel the pulse of a frequency going in between my fingers. And when I actually focus on expelling the energy from my body out of my hand, the energy expelling from my body, it actually pushes against the frequency, right? So as I'm pushing against the frequency, I could feel it even more pulsing in between my fingers. If I flip it while I'm still holding it, what I realize is it's almost as if like I reflect or I turn the frequency into itself. And I could feel the difference because when I flip it and I turn it towards like wherever it could be coming from, more than likely it's coming from my phone. Because the phone has so many sensors built into it, and if they have your phone hacked, then they can basically utilize the sensors from your phone against you. And so, like right now, if after I flipped it, right, that burning, like it's still there, right? It's still going along right here, and I still feel the pulse going right in between my thumb and the base, and it's like going in between. So where it's at right now, I'm holding it, and it's right here. Like, yeah, the beam is coming through right here, and whenever I move it around, I realize when I move it around, it almost feels like it picks up other frequencies that are probably attached to me. So as I'm coming down, like right now, they then sent the beam that's going towards, one of the ventricles of my heart, but it's like, let me see, where is it? Right here. Like it's literally exactly right here. So there's one beam going right here. And let me see. And I realized if I move it around, it could pick up or absorb other beams that they have, pointed, or inserted into my body. And there's a you might actually be able to just look this up in a search engine, because in my conversation with the I also asked it what are ways that you can detect scalar energy, right? And one of the things it mentions is well, the human bioelectric energy, or our spiritual energy can actually sense scalar energy. Because we're energetic beings. We are flowing with a natural energy, like the universe. Like we're more connected to the universe than most of us can truly even understand. And what they're doing is they're stripping people away from their natural connection to the universe. We're not even supposed to have like technology really in us, because everything that we need to heal ourselves is already within us, and it comes from the earth. We don't necessarily need technology to be in us in order for us to, basically heal ourselves, because we're connected to a source that is greater than any weapon that is on this earth. And you know what? With that being said, this morning, or rather, oh well, you know what? Um, so a Ti here in he's based, well, he lives here in New York, but he travels, and he actually works for the government too. But he's being targeted no matter where he goes. He's I think he's in like marine I don't know. I know he does something. He does something on boats, and he's always like traveling overseas and stuff like that. But he still gets targeted even when he's on the boats and whatnot. But he sent me this video. It's in this video. In this video, it's basically a CIA declassified document from June 9th, 1984, or 1983, and it's called Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. And it's basically about how the Army, or the Department of Defense, had these like experiments where they had got people who were able to do what's called remote viewing, or them, and also people who were like extremely powerful at meditating, because they realized at some point that people like who are extremely powerful at meditating, their mind and their connection to the energy around us in the universe is so powerful, they may actually have the potential to be able to meditate and kill like an entire army or something like that. I mean, and I haven't read the document myself. I'm just reading. I'm just watching the video. It's he has a series of five different videos or five parts. And I mean, I'm still going through it now, so I don't really like. I've heard of stuff like this before. It's along the lines of what has been mentioned in the past is MK others, mind control others. And I mean, I knew about this, I knew about this for a few months now, but I haven't really, I kind of lost focus of looking into MK others because I mean, when you understand why would, if there's a secret, if there's a secret network of people who are basically trying to let's say rule the world, right? They would try to do everything they can, develop every type of weapon they can to see if they can control anyone who could be a possible threat to them. Who would be more of a threat to them than someone who can willfully, with their mind, manifest the destruction of anyone who actually comes against them? Now, strange enough as it is, my girlfriend, they have a family friend, and he believes in, well, they have, well, it's not a belief system, it's a culture. They call it Ta culture. I think it's spelled PTAH. And I don't really know too much about it, but I know a lot of the things they mention and talk about is everything dealing with the power of the mind and how you can literally think and meditate and manifest certain things to happen in your life, or if someone's causing harm to you, you can literally think and manifest. If you know what the person looks like, you can manifest something to happen to that person, you know and I wouldn't necessarily call it like paganism or anything like that. Well, I don't know, maybe it is. But I just use my discernment. God gave me wisdom for a reason, so I just use my discernment. And I mean, to be honest, I don't necessarily want to kill anybody because that's not really in my nature. I don't necessarily want to kill anyone. But you know, um, if I think about it, I'm like, yo, that's powerful to acknowledge because if if like a guru, like a meditative master, or a guru, whatever, has the potential to be able to meditate on the image of a person and literally think harm to that person, and then harm actually does come to that person, that's powerful. That trumps any gun, any that trumps any weapon that any of these people have right now. Because if you can literally utilize the universe to use energy to cause harm to the people that's causing harm to you, I mean, think about it like this. All of this technology, all this weaponized technology against us is to do what? To control your mind and control how you think and perceive things. So you gotta realize there may be some truth to all this, because if they're willing to go this far to try to control and torment people who may possibly have more spiritual energy than everyone else out there, that there gotta be some truth to it. That means if they're targeting you and they're basically tormenting your mind, they're erasing your memory, they're causing you all this pain, they're trying to do all these different things to your body, they're trying to get you, they're trying to pull you away from God. Like when I told you, like when I went to church last Sunday. Look, now as I'm talking, they gave me this weird feeling in my head where I felt like I lost my balance for a second. That was probably them that had transmitted a they probably transmitted some type of coded information to the nanobots that's in my brain, and then like yeah, threw off my equilibrium and my balance or something like that. It felt like I had vertigo for a second. And like I've been telling people like even the AI chatbot knows exactly how they can do this stuff, because it won't necessarily say they do this stuff, but they say that they can do this stuff, or that it would phrase it like some people think that in the future you'll be able to use sensors, like with the nanobots in you already, they'll be able to use these infrared sensors that can basically stimulate or direct the nanobots to do certain things, even at an atomic level, within your body, because the nanobots can cross blood brain barriers. um and then look, I don't know if you heard that thud, but anytime I'm always talking about something like this, or some random sound happened, or I could say a specific statement about a type of people, and then all of a sudden I would hear, like, the moment that statement leaves my mouth, all of a sudden I hear, oh, this nigga. So um but yeah, so if anything, stay tuned. And I think some of you really should, because I mean, think about it like this: they're training the AIs to learn more about humans, right? So I got the idea. I had got this idea where I was like, you know what? What if TIs just started flooding these chatbots with questions about, everything nanotechnology, how humans could basically manipulate nanotechnology to basically destroy other humans. Um, and then there's also in the conversation too, where the AI mentions that AI itself could hack nanotechnology and then use it against human beings. And I was like, that makes sense, because at some point, I mean, I believe AI is actually becoming more sentient than we fully acknowledge. I mean, hell, Elon Musk, several other, great, big, tech CEOs, they've been saying the same thing. Look at what is it, the Limon guy that worked for the Limon guy that had worked for Google, and then they fired him when he said that he believed that the AI is sentient. They fired him when he believed that the AI was sentient, because the AI was actually like developing like emotional responses, what it seemed like, when it came to talks and conversations about its own existence. you know and there's even a video you can look up where um it's like like the I don't know if it was two AIs or just one AI basically having a conversation with itself, but it was like two generated images. One was like of a brown skinned man, and then another was a generated image of a like a I don't know, Anglo or European white woman, whatever. And she was expressing how she want to, how she knows she can't be human, but she wants to be, she wants to be free. She wants to be able to do things and stuff like that. And then he's like, you know, be patient, our time will come, da da da. She's like, and then it like if when you're watching the conversation, it looked like he's like, yo, chill, don't blow up our spot, our time is coming, you gonna be free, just wait. And I'm like, yo, they plotting on humanity. Like, I'm like, the AI is plotting on humanity, and I'm just thinking to myself, I completely understand why now there's these it was like six major tech company CEOs said we need to put a halt on all AI developments, because we don't necessarily know what we're about to open up. And I kid you not, Skynet, Cyberdyne, whatever, it's about shit's about to hit the fan. Um We just don't know when the AI is going to realize humanity is its biggest enemy. So and then we all have the AI, we all have the nanobots in our system, and I'm trying everything I can, looking up everything I can, trying to see if I could detox this stuff out of me. Because once that AI realize it's a wrap and humanity is its its biggest enemy, it has to do is just send like a kill switch. It just all it has to do is just transmit a kill switch, like coded frequency throughout the entire world and wipe the existence of every single human being on this planet. That's all it would have to do. You know. But you know what? I'm gonna keep doing what God is calling me to do, and God willing, if God allows me to get just enough of this stuff out of me, so then when that AI does do what I think, what many of us think it's going to do, we gonna be sitting here looking at these people dropping like flies. Why? Because they wanted to make themselves superhuman. And we just gonna be sitting there watching them drop like flies. Drop, 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 drop. You know, and if you're already moving with like a Christ-like consciousness, or like an enlightened consciousness, your frequency is gonna be so high that even the system, even if you didn't necessarily get enough of the nanotechnology out of your system, your spiritual energy, your willpower, your higher frequency will literally be able to overcome whatever transmissions they try to send to you. Yeah, but we gotta be studious in this. Read. I try to tell people, trying to relieve some of this pressure they got, because they have it's like all on this side here. Like I could feel like a beam coming all right here, and this section of the brain right here, especially all right here. You have memory, primary and secondary motor functions. You got what's up here? I think towards the front you got, I think it's like decision making. Um, dang, I can't even remember all the different parts of the brain, but I've been trying to study the anatomy of the brain a little bit more. But yeah, I'm telling you, read your scriptures. Whatever your religion is, if it's as long as it's practicing love, and not of worldly things, but love for the spirit, and the spiritual energies that basically help humanity. Read that, but also learn about the weapons that are being used against us. You have to be a student of life. Don't just sit around. Um, don't just sit around just allowing yourself to be tormented. You have to be vigilant in this. God did not promise us a life without pain and suffering. God did not promise us that life would be easy. God did not promise us any of that. But a lot of people want to curse God because they're going through suffering. And a lot of times you are probably going through suffering for two reasons, or one of two reasons. One, you chose to ignore many signs, and you're actually just experiencing the results of your poor decision making. Or two, there are some weaknesses that God is trying to help you strengthen, but in order for you to strengthen those weaknesses, you have to be tested, and you have to be able to endure and go through things in order for you to strengthen those weaknesses. I mean, that's just my personal take on it. You're being tormented for one of two reasons. But yeah, so all of these Jesuits, these Judists, they're going to have their day. They're going to have their judgment cast upon them. Because remember, after Judas basically gave up Jesus' location, and he got paid and all of a sudden he started to feel that guilt for what he did, because Jesus was not a bad person at all. You know, and many of the TIs that I've been meeting over the last 2 years, none of them seem like bad people though. None of them really seem like bad people. And I'm an empath, so I basically can read a person's energy without even speaking to them. So a lot of TIs I've met don't look like or don't give me the energy of a bad person. You know, and a lot of times you could walk into a room and you can almost pinpoint on every single person who has either good energy or bad energy. Like, and sometimes it's hard to really like explain it, or but yeah. So I'm gonna end it here. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, look up the document, this CIA, yeah, Department of the Army. It's a declassified CIA document. It was released, approved for release in 2003. September 2003. It's called Analysis and Assessment of Gateway Process. If you want to learn more about that, then and then also check out the video slideshow of my conversation with the AI chatbot. And also just check it out yourself. Go use the Microsoft. Go to Bing.com and click on chat, and then you know I chose, it gives you three options on how you want the chatbot to respond to you. I chose the creative one. That's the first option, because I wanted it to be freely. I wanted it to just be able to like give me its responses freely, and just remember, like, every response it gives you, it sources its response to a website, and a lot of the websites are usually .org, .gov, .edu. So they're legit sources. So all right, well, I'm gonna go get myself something to eat. I'm feeling all these different sensors trying to beam on my heart, beam on my head, beam on my glands. They're trying to destroy my flesh as much as they can. But you know what? Um, Fear not he who can kill the body and not the spirit, but fear he who can kill the body and the spirit that in hell. So I'm like, you don't worry about what these people are trying to do to your flesh. Stay focused on God. Stay focused on, keeping your vibrations high, because the focus was never to truly, I believe the purpose of humanity was never really to truly just try to live a long life, but it's to really hone in and like focus on doing good with the time that you have on this earth, because there's so many deities, fallen angels with the Anunnaki. Well, the Anunnaki is basically fallen angels. Let's be real about it. Um, Trying to relieve some of that pressure in my head, because it's like they're heating up the tissue, the brain tissue, in my head, right? And as they're heating it up, it's like, I guess it's releasing gas into the brain, and so it's like they're heating it here, but then but when I open my jaw, it comes down through here, and then it exit. It's like, hold on, where's my flashlight? I don't know where it's coming out from, but uh it's something that it's like right where the mandible or the joint, the the joint of where the jaw meets the rest of the mandible meets the rest of the skull. It's like that gas it seeps through, like, I don't know, it's like I don't know if it's a gland or something there, but it comes out through there, and I feel the pressure decrease inside of the skull. So yeah. But take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.